This is not what I wanted. 90-Day Fiancé star Shekina breaks down in tears after being disappointed by her wedding venue. 90-Day Fiancé Season 11 couple Sarper and Shekina planned on having their wedding take place in a bed, calling it a bedding. They felt that they had such great chemistry in bed that they believed it would be a good idea to tie the knot there. It was supposed to be a private wedding set in a luxurious and beautiful hotel room. However, when the couple visited their booked room one day before their wedding ceremony, Shekina was disappointed to find the condition of the room. The room didn't look like what the online photos had promised. It completely shattered Shekina, who sat down crying over her big plans and expectations being ruined with no time left to fix them. "This is not what I wanted. It's just not my style," she told Sarper while crying. 90-Day Fiancé star Shekina lists out the problems their booked wedding room had. In 90-Day Fiancé Season 11, Episode 17, as the couple approached their booked hotel room for the wedding, Shekina opened up about her expectations in a confessional. Although her vision for a wedding day was getting married in bed, she wanted it to have a lot of beautiful natural light and a majestic bed. Additionally, she wanted the ceremony to be elegant, classy, unique, and beautiful. However, upon taking a tour of the room, she was filled with disappointment as it wasn't as per her style. Shekina hated how worn out the rooms looked and how rough their wedding bed was. She didn't like any part of the room and said that it made her really sad. "The way that I envisioned my wedding is a gorgeous, big bed under beautiful chandeliers, which I saw in the pictures online. I thought the chandeliers were just a mess, though, because they're over a dining room table, not a bed," she added in her confessional. The 90-Day Fiancé star continued. "The bed is in a whole other room. The floors are just destroyed. The decor is old and run down. Like, everything is wrong with this picture." Shekina soon broke down into tears and told her 90-Day Fiancé partner that this wasn't what she wanted for her wedding. While Sarper tried to console her, saying it looked good, she knew it wasn't according to her vision. "We are at the end of the 90 days, and this is the place that we've chosen to have the wedding, and I'm now realizing that it doesn't fit my vision. I don't see a solution for any of the problems, and I just feel like all of my dreams and visions for this special day are being destroyed by the reality of this room," the 90-Day Fiancé star said in her confessional. Sarper hugged Shekina and explained to her that everything cannot be perfect. He noted that being together was the important thing they needed to focus on, rather than worrying about small things. Shekina later shared that she wanted to visit the room and take a look at it in advance. However, she couldn't get a chance to do so because it was never empty. Everything looked good to her when she saw the room through online photos. However, in reality, the online photos didn't match the actual room, and it was the reason for her disappointment. Shekina told her partner that she would rather go to a courthouse than get married in the room. However, Sarper felt it was an unfair decision for her to make and left her to cry on her own. "The level of mistrust is unbelievable." 90-Day Fiancé star Sarper calls out Shekina for placing a tracker on him. 90-Day Fiancé Season 11 Episode 17, Too Late for Love, premiered on TLC on June 8, 2025. The episode continued from the cliffhanger of the last episode, which saw Sarper leaving the house one day before the wedding because he was scared of getting married again. Shekina eventually found Sarper at a coffee shop and went in to confront him. However, before she could address the issue, Sarper asked her partner how she was able to find him when he didn't tell her where he was going. Shekina revealed that she had put an AirTag on their keychains so that they could find them when they get missing. Sarper took this as an excuse and accused Shekina of tracking him without his knowledge. In his confessional, Sarper said that he was surprised by the level of mistrust his future wife felt in their relationship. He further speculated that this won't have been the first time Shekina had used the tracer, and might have used it to cross-check his location all the time. "The level of mistrust is unbelievable. I'm sure that she was looking at it every day. She was sometimes asking where I am. She knows where I am, by the way. She was double-checking, you know? Cross-examination. If I am saying the right," he said in his confessional. 90 Day Fiancé star Sarper asks Shekina why she put a tracker on him. Sarper had left the house one day before his wedding with Shekina, as he was having some second thoughts. Shekina was left alone in their house, trying to take care of their wedding arrangements. She soon found her partner at a coffee shop using an AirTag she had placed on his keychain. At the beginning of 90 Day Fiancé Season 11 Episode 17, when she went in to confront Sarper, he shared that he was scared of getting married for the second time after having a bad experience with his first marriage. When Shekina reminded him that they didn't have much time to worry about such a thing, Sarper diverted the conversation and asked her how she was able to find him. "Okay, babe. I put an air trap on your keys so that we can find the keys if they get lost in the house or somewhere else. It's not about finding you. It's about finding the keys," she answered. The Turkish native was surprised by the revelation as he recalled Shekina had given him the keychain on their very first day in America. He asked her if she had been tracing him for the last 90 days. Shekina stuck to her story and said that she never thought about using the tracker unless they lost their keys. Sarper wasn't ready to believe her and asked her why she didn't tell him that she had put a tracker on his keychain. He wondered if his partner always wanted to know about his location, trying to find out if he was cheating on her. Further in his confessional, the 90 Day Fiancé star speculated that Shekina might have used the tracker multiple times to cross-check his location. "I'm trustworthy and she doesn't trust me. And she's going to marry with a guy that she doesn't trust. That doesn't make sense, you know," the 90 Day Fiancé star said. Shekina later chimed in, telling Sarper that he needed to get over the whole location tracking thing. She added that it was normal for couples to share their location. Sarper admitted that it was a normal thing to do, however, he pointed out that tracking someone's location without their knowledge wasn't a normal thing. By the end of the conversation, the 90 Day Fiancé couple decided to put all of their issues behind them and focus on their wedding preparations. "You can't change my mind. Amani is the right choice for any on 90 Day Fiancé." 90 Day Fiancé had its fair share of unconventional relationships, but this season featured something new, the franchise's first official throuple. Amani, Matt, and Annie reached the end of the season together, despite a rollercoaster of emotions that included jealousy, culture-based tension, and a shocking revelation from Annie's ex-boyfriend. But in the finale, it all came down to one choice. Who would Annie marry? In my opinion, Amani was clearly the right choice. In the episode that aired on Sunday, June 9, 2025, Amani made a heartfelt plea to Annie. "No matter what, we'll be happy with the outcome, but I want you to marry me," she said. For Amani, this wasn't just about love, it was about stepping fully into her identity and finally living as her bisexual true self. After years of hiding who she was from her family and community, Amani had reached a point where she was ready to embrace her truth. Her desire to marry Annie wasn't only a romantic gesture, it was a declaration of self. That sincerity and emotional depth made her the partner who was truly invested in building a life together. Amani isn't just choosing love, she's choosing to live her truth in 90 Day Fiancé. In the finale episode of 90 Day Fiancé, Amani laid her heart on the line. She didn't just express her love, she explained that marrying Annie meant fulfilling her dream of openly loving a woman and embracing her full identity. Her words, "I want you to marry me," carried the weight of someone who had spent years hiding, and who was now finally ready to be seen. Amani made it clear that her connection with Annie wasn't just about the relationship, it was about finally being herself. She shared her hopes of living openly, no longer hiding from family expectations or cultural judgment. It was a bold and personal ask, and she handled it with honesty rather than pressure. Meanwhile, Matt approached the situation from a place of logic. While he also expressed love for Annie, he often focused on how the throuple would function and whether certain rules would work. When problems surfaced, he occasionally seemed more focused on control than understanding. Amani, in contrast, remained consistent. She didn't shy away from conflict, but she communicated openly. Her proposal to Annie wasn't just romantic, it was deeply personal. By choosing Amani in 90 Day Fiancé, Annie would be supporting a partner who wanted to build a future grounded in love and truth. Annie and Amani share a deeper emotional bond. Throughout this season of 90 Day Fiancé, it became clear that Annie and Amani shared a stronger emotional connection than Annie and Matt did. From their private moments to their difficult conversations, there was a mutual understanding and emotional safety that stood out. Matt often took on a more dominant role in the throuple. His attempts to structure the relationship sometimes pushed Annie into a passive position, trying to balance both partners. But with Amani, there was space for Annie to express herself, to question things, and to simply be. In one conversation before the final decision, Amani reminded Annie of the life they had imagined together. She said they could have the life we always talked about, anchoring her proposal in both memory and possibility.